Bishop, it's great to be here with you this morning. I just want to have casual conversation about this year's stewardship theme, and particularly where Mary as the first disciple, and what we'd like to highlight is how does the commitment to the stewardship way of life. We have Commitment Sunday, and so we're supposed to, fill out our stewardship forms. Doesn't that just seems like task oriented, and it's not connected to this discipleship. So is that important? Why do we need to do that?
Sure. Well, I think it's very important, and it's part of our human experience. When we think of Mary as the first disciple, we also have to remember that her willingness to agree to God's plan had to be, she had to give that willingness over and over and over again. Just like our parents did. When they got married, they gave themselves to each other in marriage. They started living out that vocation day by day, so they have to recommit to that all the time. And then when we came into their lives as their children, to be our father or our mother, to say yes to that on any given day, which is not always easy. So it's just a human thing to recommit ourselves to what the Lord is asking of us. And so that's why we every year have this renewal of the commitment to the stewardship way of life, to living a disciple's life. Really, it's something we should do every day. When we get up in the morning to be able to tell God, the willingness to tell God, we're willing to serve you, we're willing to love and live for you, as Mary did and as all the disciples before us did. So yeah, commitment is critical. It's really critical. Otherwise, we kind of let those things go by the wayside easily because we're not disciplined enough to live out that way of life simply one time and then we're done. So yeah, I believe it's essential for us.
Yeah, that's great, Bishop. It's like we don't, as we're focusing on discipleship, we're talking more about relationship with the Lord, relationship with one another, and we think, well, it's about relationship. We don't need to worry about the commitment. But just considering discipleship and discipline go hand in hand, and like you said, it's the way we are as human beings. We pray, give us this day our daily bread, not tomorrow's. It's it's a new commitment each and every day. What do you think? There's a special challenge this year as far as in the midst of COVID and the restrictions and kind of the loss of some of our freedoms and the disorientation that we're experiencing all over the place, and nothing is the same. Everything's different and new. You think there's more of a need for being intentional, or how do you see that fitting into?
Yeah, I do. And what I like to think about it is that this COVID, which has been challenging and terrible in many ways, there's also some graces to that, have been, certainly for me, to help me focus on what's really important, to go back to the priorities of my life. And that's obviously my ministry, my faith in God, and my commitment to this diocese as a bishop, my commitment to daily prayer and sacrifice and all those good things that maybe were certainly there for me, and I think for many of us, but didn't have the quality that they could have had. Now, because of these times in which we're living, where we've been forced to really look at life in a different way and live it in a different way, but to hold on to what's really, really important to the core of who we are. And so the relationships we have, first with God, and then with the church and with each other, and to focus on that as the great priorities of our life. That's I think an invitation for us this year, in particular in regard to the times in which we live, and that's why it's a great time to recommit yourself to this discipleship, and to be an evangelizer and a good steward of the blessings that are entrusted to us. So.
Now, I have one more question. So discipleship, that theme, that movement seems to be capturing the whole spirit of the church. Something unique in the Diocese of Wichita is the inclusion of stewardship. And that you're over 6 years now as your time as bishop here, and coming from Springfield, Illinois, and a good strong diocese. What what is connected with you, and what's unique in your mind and heart in regards to the addition of stewardship as part of the Christian life when we're focusing kind of as a country and a church on missionary discipleship?
Well, I've often reflected on this sense of stewardship. That I knew the word before coming here. We tried to live it in the best way we could, but there was something missing, and so I've become a real student of stewardship, if you will, learning it myself as I exercise my ministry as the bishop, because that's so really deeply rooted in who we are. And I love that, but it's really challenged me in a lot of ways. It's challenged me to be more intentional, to live out that discipleship in a more personal and a deeper way each and every day. That's what I think being a good steward is. And when we do that, great things happen. Great things happen, and I've seen it. And I want to be a part of the future of even greater things happening as we renew it and present it again and again to a whole new generation. So it's exciting. It's been stretching me. I always say I've been really stretched a lot as a bishop, but in a personal way as a steward, that my discipleship needed to have a overhaul too, and so the Lord lets that happen to us in kind of a mysterious way. For me, I don't know why, but it needed me to become the bishop of the Diocese of Wichita for that to happen. So, and I'm grateful to God for that. I thank God for that every day, and wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So.
Well, thank you, Bishop. Thank you for sharing your heart and your mind in regards to the renewal and the commitment, and just how stewardship fits into discipleship.
And thank you for helping us, as vicar for evangelization, discipleship, and stewardship. Thank you for all you're doing.
Well, it's a blessing to be a part of this, and here's what I think. How about, Bishop, stewardship renewal this year, best year ever?
Best year ever.
All right.
Best year ever. Go for it.